So I'm in Hershey, Pennsylvania, going on the Hershey Chocolate Factory Tour. And then I'm gonna go to the store and museum. But let me tell you, the place is pretty dang cool and pretty dang packed. And they have like all kinds of new attractions out there. So I'm gonna check all that out later after I go on the tour. Here's a timeline of Hershey's chocolate. There are people waiting behind me, so I can't go too long, but I thought I'd show you part of it. But this place is flippin' packed. I actually thought on a Sunday it would be kind of slow because everybody would be in Hershey Park, but nope. Look at this. And I'm probably gonna have to buy some gifts for a few people because it is what it is. This is pretty neat. They have signs explaining everything as you go through. Again, it's a museum, so I'm not going to record it all, but I wanted to tell you it's a pretty cool view, an explanation of how Hershey came about and how they acquired other candy companies. A little trike to go to the tour. Bye. Pretty cool. I'm in a little car going to the Hershey's chocolate.
Hershey Chocolate Factory. Your guide will meet you at the entrance. See you inside.
This is really super cute. I wasn't going to the amusement park and I ended up on an amusement park ride anyway.
Right here with your fresh milk. Sing it, girls! Chocolate the Hershey way. Taste the love. Taste the love. Taste the love. Taste the love. The max to achieve that unique and consistent Hershey's flavor. We pour the blended cocoa beans into large revolving roasters, which get extremely hot. Toasty in here, isn't it? Next, we quickly pour the beans and feed them into our breaking chamber, which cracks open the shells at high speed. Inside each shell are tiny pieces called cocoa nibs. Hey, a good friend of mine is waiting up ahead to tell us more.
Hey everyone, below me are milling machines which grind cocoa nibs into unsweetened chocolate. Cocoa nibs have been ground down like this for thousands of years. Milling machines generate lots of heat through intense pressure and friction. The grinding turns cocoa nibs into the smooth, dark liquid used to make milk and dark chocolate.
Our pressing machines squeeze the unsweetened chocolate into discs of cocoa powder known as Hershey's cocoa. Pressing also produces cocoa butter, which we'll use later on in the process. Every day, shiny tanker trucks pick up milk from local farms and line up outside our factory for delivery. Hershey is one of the only companies in the world that uses fresh milk to make milk chocolate. Fresh milk is part of what gives Hershey's milk chocolate its delicious and distinctive taste. Part of my job is to make sure all of that milk meets our high-quality standards. Once it passes testing, we mix sugar into the milk using large batching tanks. We pasteurize and condense the sweetened milk and then blend in the perfect amount of unsweetened chocolate. This is where the art of chocolate making all comes together. As the mixture cooks, it begins to form delicious little pieces that we call chocolate crumbs.
Hershey's
Then we mix in the cocoa butter we pressed out earlier and add a dash of vanilla. This brings out the chocolate's rich taste and creamy texture, and of course, that wonderful smell.
Oh, you can actually smell it in here. That's pretty cool.
We feed the chocolate crumb through steel rollers that grind and refine the chocolate until it reaches a smooth, uniform consistency. Here's our friend Kids to explain the next step in the process.
These punch machines use big granite rollers to transform refined powder into milk chocolate. The conching process mixes and heats the chocolate, developing a rich flavor and color. Heavy rollers slowly up the refined crumb until it reaches the silky liquid texture of milk chocolate. Bye for now.
After conching, we temper the milk chocolate, heating and cooling it to just the right texture and consistency. During tempering, we can mix in other ingredients such as roasted California almonds. Next, we pour the milk chocolate into molds and send them on a bumpy conveyor ride. Then we send the molds through cooling tunnels that solidify the chocolate.
There's Reese's.
All of that fresh, delicious Hershey's chocolate goodness is finally ready to be packaged.
Hershey's milk chocolate.
Perfect s'more bar.
Hey, don't forget about Reese's peanut butter cups. My personal favorite.
Never.
Everyone has a favorite. Mine are Hershey's Kisses chocolate.
Thanks, Alice. So sweet.
Look at those kisses. This looks delicious.
It looks like our packages are ready to go, and I better get going too. It's been a privilege being your guide today. Remember that wherever you go, you're never far from a piece of Hershey's happiness. So be sure to share that goodness with the ones you love. Thank you, everyone. Bye.
That is really cool. Here's a kiss and a candy bar and a Reese's Pieces all saying bye.
Well, now you know the hard work, pride, and joy that goes into making every piece of Hershey's goodness.
Come visit us again soon.
Please remain seated until the door opens and watch your step onto the moving platform. And enjoy the rest of your day here at Hershey's Chocolate World. So long, everyone.
Thanks for coming.
Bye-bye.
At the Hershey Museum for the museum experience, sorry. And they give you this cool little coin, and I'm supposed to touch it to different spots to get a personalized experience. We'll see how that works. Yeah, it says I failed. I suppose I never would have done anything if I hadn't kept coming back. Failure to fortune. And then I scan my coin here, and it says, "Welcome, Schoonie."
A fresh start in a fresh city seemed like a smart idea. Even at 25, Milton had already been through professional ups and downs, mostly downs. So with an eye towards starting his own business, he moved first to Chicago, and then New Orleans in 1882 and 83, and then back east to New York City before returning to Pennsylvania.
I moved around a lot. Just learned something pretty interesting and new to me. That he actually first started out with caramel and then switched to chocolate. And he moved all over the country making sure he could do that. Hershey's for health. Ooh, I don't know. I'm going to push this button and see if it starts the machine. Oh, it does. That is a machine that wraps Hershey Kisses. And it's extremely loud. Caramels were a fad and chocolate was permanent, so he decided to make chocolate. That's pretty crazy because I actually like caramels better than chocolate. but everybody's probably not like me, and it says, "Hi there, Schoonie."
At the 1893 Chicago World's Fair, Milton decided to bet on chocolate instead of on caramel, and he backed that bet with cash. On the spot, he bought $2,000 worth of chocolate-making equipment to be shipped to Lancaster when the fair ended. On returning home, he ordered an additional $3,500 worth of equipment.
Wow. That was a lot of money back then, just so y'all know.
Of course. But Hershey also proclaimed that quality chocolate filled with nutritious milk and nuts wasn't a guilty pleasure, just a pleasure. It touted good chocolate as good food, with slogans such as a tasty lunch and more sustaining than meat.
Give them quality, that's the best advertising in the world. So the Hershey story is pretty cool. So like I said, he started out with caramels and then moved to chocolate. But he also grew up in Pennsylvania. So when he decided to make chocolate, he built his factory less than a mile from where he grew up, because it was rural Pennsylvania, and he didn't have to have like the milk brought in. This was milk, this was dairy country, and he could get people that were proud to have a factory job locally because it pulled them off the farms. It's pretty cool how people bring things, big companies, back to where they came from. I think that's why everything says remember where you came from. And it's kind of weird that I'm saying that right now today, because I'm actually wearing a shirt that says remember where you came from. And I thought that was a weird coincidence that in the Hershey Museum they were talking about remembering where you come from. See, all in life there's all these weird, bizarre coincidences. But he wanted to know the Hershey kiss came before the Hershey bar.
She was vivacious and sociable. He focused on building his business. She concentrated on designing their home and its gardens. Yet, each remained devoted to the other.
That was pretty cool. So, the Hersheys, they traveled all over the country looking for the best prices on product. But along with looking for the best prices on product, they built little cities around where they got those products from. And they made a better living for the people in those countries, along with a better living for the people in this country. That's pretty cool when people who are innovative like that do things like that. These are some beautiful artifacts from Mrs. Hershey's house. Mrs. Hershey died in 1915, and after that, Mr. Hershey spent an indefinite amount of time in Cuba. It actually doesn't say when he left Cuba. I'll show you a pretty cool story, and I'm not going to record the video for you. I'm just going to sit here and tell you about it. Apparently, Milton Hershey opened the Milton Hershey School. I didn't know that. He left all of his fortune to kids from lower income and bad circumstances so they can come to his school. They get a free education so that they can go on and do better in life, and they actually live at the school. It's pretty cool. It sort of reminds me of the Boys Town in Nebraska, but I had never heard of Milton Hershey School before. So that's a pretty interesting story and a pretty admirable form of philanthropy. So when you travel around the country and you start seeing all these museums and you start hearing about the amount of philanthropy people do, it's kind of shocking to see when a man gave everything, everything he had to leave behind, he gave to a school, to a hospital, and to the Milton Hershey Foundation. And he lived simply when he lived. And I don't see anything that says that they did have children or that they didn't have children. So if there's a comment in here somewhere about that, I missed it. But it's pretty cool that he did all this stuff for other people. Oh, and my medical friends, here's one of the first artificial hearts. Isn't that pretty cool? I guess I should take a snapshot of that. There you go. I just get fascinated by the museums, and I don't like to take pictures of everything because I want people to come and see this stuff. But then there's some things that are profound to me. The fact that people give back so much, because I do believe in giving, and the fact that some of the medical facts, because that's what I am, and that's who I'm about. aside from the Hershey Museum about the Hershey chocolate factory that Hershey had in Pennsylvania, they also have the Hershey Sugar Mill museum just below it, and this is about the work he did in Cuba and how he built a town in a city called Sugartown, by the way. And it says, living in Hershey, you had a lot of things for free, like electricity, water, good hygiene, facilities of getting everything in a commercial area. Think about it. This was a man who moved all over our country trying to find his way in the world, and then he finds his way with chocolate. He builds all these the largest chocolate factory in the world in Pennsylvania, and then because he's buying product from Cuba, he builds a sugar town in Cuba so they could live better while they're making sugar for him. That is pretty cool. It just makes him a real admirable man. Even though I'm disappointed about how some of his Hershey chocolate makes s'mores now, some of the other stuff is pretty cool.